Hello, welcome to Kubernetes Deployment Series Part 18. In this series, we are going to learn how to deploy microservices into Minikube cluster using Argo CD. In our previous lessons, we have already learned how to deploy microservices by creating Argo CD applications using the Argo CD UI or the dashboard. And in the previous lesson, we also learned how to deploy by creating the Argo CD applications using manifest by using the application CRD, that is custom resource definition. In this lab, we learned how to create Argo CD applications by using another CRD, that is application set. So let's go to the dashboard. So here, if we remember, or you can go to the previous lab and you can find in previous lab, we have learned by creating few Argo CD applications. If you go to Argo CD and you can see under application, we have already defined few of the Argo CD applications. We have here used this application as the CRD. Okay, and using this, we have deployed the different manifests into the cluster. So this way we have already learned this one, and you can go through the previous lab. And you can see here in the customized manifest YAML, right? Here in this application, Argo CD application, the path we have mentioned is customize manifest rabbit message queue overlay prod, because here we are deploying a customized service and particular to prod environment. So in our case, if we see, we have almost 4 services and 1 configuration, and if we want to deploy into this prod environment all these services and configuration, then we need to create multiple Argo CD applications. Like this, I have to create for the service order, also for product, and storefront, also for the config. So in that case, I have to create 5 different Argo CD applications. So in order to avoid that, we can also use another concept that is called apps of app. So apps of app is nothing. We have to create a parent Argo CD application, and that parent Argo CD application will use the child specified child Argo CD application to deploy as a single unit. So we can, in this case, we can only use one kubectl command using this file to apply this, so that all this whatever defined under this folder, it can be applied to the cluster. So that also we have already done in our previous lab. So today we'll just learn another one. For example, I have created another app of app, that is to use a customized manifest, okay, that can be deployed into dev, test, and prod environment. But what I have discussed here, this one, here you can see this application only deploying into the rabbit message queue to the prod environment. But if you want to deploy all together, all services to the prod environment, in that case we can use this uh, app of app, the Argo CD application. So in this case, what I did is I have created a parent Argo CD application, and this Argo CD application is pointing to this path. So it is pointing to this path. Under that, I have a microservices folder, and under that microservices folder, I have defined all path. Here you can see the path is customization manifest. So if here you can see, this is my customized manifest. Okay, so it has the base and overlays. You can see it can deploy into multiple environment. So here I just, because here it is the, I'm going to deploy the config, so only I'm considering the base, because we don't have under this, I don't have any dev test prod environment. It is common for all the environments, so I can refer directly to the base, and hence I have not created any specific environment specific overlays. Okay, and I have also created the order Argo CD application, and here you can see I have mentioned the path order overlays prod environment. Okay, and for similarly the prod, you can see the prod, and it is the prod overlays folder it's pointing. Similarly, the rabbit message queue and storefront. So what I here I want to mention is by using single parent Argo CD app, how we can deploy all the services to the prod environment. Okay, so in order to do that, how we can do is here if you go we can see we can use this, not this one, this apply command. You can see I have mentioned kubectl apply, and this is the path, and this I refer this is the application Argo CD parent application. Okay, so using this, okay, before to that I have already set my minikube. You can follow these steps here. You have to start the minikube, then create the Argo CD namespace, then we need to install the Argo CD in that Argo CD namespace. After that we have to port forward this, and also we need to get the password of the Argo CD server. Then using this browser, right, we can browse to the Argo CD. Okay, so this is I have already done. Okay, not this one. And after that we can also go by going to the setting and repository. Also we can connect. I have connected to this my Kubernetes, sorry, my Argo GitHub repository. So I have connected this Kubernetes 18 deployment uh, repository. This is my repository, and I have connected, and you can connect by using this URL here, the clone URL. So that we have already discussed. You can check my previous lab. So once that is done, then we can log into the Argo CD. Then you can connect to repository, okay, by going to the settings and specifying your URL. After that, we need to create the Argo CD application. So no need to confuse. Argo CD application is nothing. We have to create an application that will point to our the GitHub, any of the folder where the manifests are available for deploying the application into the cluster. Okay, so that we can do, as I already discussed, we can do it by manually by creating it in the dashboard itself, that we have discussed already in our lab 15 and 16. You can refer that. And in 17, labs number 17, we have learned how to create the Argo CD application using CRT application, and we have already discussed that. Today only I have to run this one to show how we can, by using a single parent application, how we can deploy the services in into prod environment. Okay. And that will refer from our customized manifest. Okay, so in order to do that, what I have to do, just I have to run this one. Before to that, I have already created the namespaces, because here I'm going to deploy into the prod environment. If you see, I go here and you can see namespace I mentioned here, prod. Okay, so this namespaces are already created, and so I have to just run this one. So it got created, and if you come now to the application, you can see here. Okay, you can see the prod environment.com. It is now creating syncing. Okay, so it is got created. So now let me go to the command line and just try to get the pod from the prod environment or namespace. We can see here it is creating 3 replica for each of the services, and the same thing you can see here also. You can see 3 replicas, you can see here. Okay, so this way uh, we can create use the app of apps, where we can use single parent app to, here I have used a single parent app in my kubectl command to deploy deploy multiple services in prod environment. Okay, if I'm not using this parent or app of apps, so in that case I need to use all this as a single Argo CD app, and individually I have to execute kubectl apply. I need to call execute by using individual Argo CD app. Okay, so the advantage is here it is just binding all these services together as a single unit to deploy into the EKS cluster, and also it will help in um, deleting as well. So if you want to delete it, so what we can do, we can go here and sorry, this not, so we need to use delete. So this command we need to remove the services from the cluster. Okay, so it says deleted. Let's go to the application again and see. Okay, it is taking, okay, it will take some time maybe. If we'll, yeah, it doesn't found, so it will take some time. Okay, next what today are going to learn is mm, application set. Okay, so application set is another CRD, custom resource definition, and they are in the advantage what we'll get using CRD, custom resource definition, is it will generate automatically in the Argo CD applications. In apps of app, if you see here, in apps of app here, we are mentioning the path here. Okay, and in this path we have already created the Argo CD applications. Okay, and it is also pointing to the specific path that need to be specific path of the manifestation that need to be deployed. But so here we have to create all our Argo CD apps by uh, manually. So if we have multiple like 20 or 50 services, then we need to create this Argo CD application manifest files here. So in in application set, what advantage we'll get is it will create the Argo CD app by automatically by using generator. So let's go to one of these apps of app set. You can see here I have created few app sets, for example, single manifest app set. Okay, so what is this? This basically pointing to the single manifest. So here you can see this one. Okay, so this manifest folder contains the manifest files of all the services what we are using. Okay, so but now my requirement is I need to deploy this into all the environments, dev, test, and prod environment. So if simply I want to use application CRD, in that case, if I want to deploy into all the dev, test, and prod environment, then I need to create three different Argo CD application. How I have done here, like this one, like this, I have to replicate it one for, I mean here namespace I provided this, right? I can put namespace dev, then another file I have to create and put mention the namespace as test, and similarly prod. So three different uh, Argo CD application I need to create, and I need to execute it using the kubectl by using by calling these names. So I run three kubectl commands to deploy these services into three different environments. So so again it will be a repetitive task. Okay, and the same file I'm repeating multiple times. Okay, so in order to avoid this we have another way of doing it, that is using the CRD application set. So if we come here in the offsets under the folder offsets, you can see I have defined this offset. Here we can see the kind is application set. So this is the CRD we are getting used. And the most important thing is we are using a generator here. Okay. So generator here, it generate our application, Argo CD applications. Okay. So it will generate dynamically our Argo CD applications. So in order to do that, how we can do is we need to use some generator. There are different kind of generators. Okay, like we can use list generator, we can use git generators, we can use matrix generator. So there are different generators. So it has different applications as well. Okay, so in this case, since I want to deploy into three different environments, I took a list. Okay, and and since here it will going to use, it will create dynamically this Argo CD applications, here we'll use template, okay, because since this will get different name, right? For dev it will be different, for test and prod. So we need to identify that. We can use this namespace, okay. This is namespace, we can mention it, maybe dev, test and prod, okay. So whatever generators we are taking, we need to use those generator while providing the name for the template, okay. So I have used here name as a namespace, and just postfix it is some values single manifest, okay. And project dev, I have just taken dev default. URL, I have taken my this is the Kubernetes 18 deployment GitHub URL, and target revision is head, and path I have mentioned is single manifest, okay. So it will use single manifest, it will use this one, okay. This path it will take, and it will take dev environment. For dev it will come and execute this one, then again, so it will deploy all the services into the cluster for dev environment or namespace. Then it will again repeat for test environment, so it will replace with the test, again it will come and deploy this, okay. The next step it will come to prod, again deploy into prod environment, so it will repeat 3 times, okay. So 3 times it will repeat, so means it will dynamically create or implicitly create 3 different Argo CD application and deploy into the environment, okay. And here namespace I just provided the namespace, okay. So namespace is nothing, it will take from here, from the list, okay, dev, test, prod, okay. So when it is dev, it will take that dev, it will deploy into dev environment. When it will be test, it will be in test namespace, okay. Okay, so in order to deploy that, we can use this command. If you go to, okay, Argo CD application set here, okay, you can see this is the command, simply manifest, right? And if I'll come here, okay, now let me execute this, okay, not this one, okay, Argo CD application, okay, yeah, sorry, this is our Argo CD application set, we need to use this one, okay. So this will apply to, it will go to the offsets and it will use this manifest offset, okay. It got created. Now if we come, okay, so if we see here, okay, the last deployment what we have deleted, I think it is not deleted, okay, we'll see that. But again in the prod environment, if you see, we have it created again those things, I mean it will deploy the services into dev, test and prod environment, okay. If you see, and you can go to, you can see here dev single manifest, prod single manifest, and test single manifest, okay. So if you go to this, uh, right, you can see here all the services are deploying here, okay. This is for prod environment. And similarly, if you go to any of the, suppose dev environment, again it is deploying this, okay. So this way we can use the offset by using the list generator, and using this we can deploy into the same manifest into different environments. The next thing what I'm trying to do is, suppose we will use, here I have used git generator instead of list generator. We can also use git generator. So git generator, that will take different path, instead of taking single path, it will take different path, and from that path it will try to deploy the manifest into the cluster, okay. So for that, if we can see here, I have multi manifest here, yeah, you can see here this is multi manifest, and I have a different folder there, and each folder has its own manifest. That's why I just named this multi-manifest, but nothing it is with multi-folder manifest. Okay. Now, in this Git generator, what I have mentioned is path is multi-manifest. So it will come here, multi-manifest. And in the template, I just mentioned the path base name. So path base name, what is the base name of this? The base name of this multi-manifest is nothing. It is config, order, product, rabbit message queue, and storefront. So these are the base name of that path. Okay. So it will, the name will be that, the name will be either config, prod, dev, sorry, config, prod, order, rabbit message queue, etc. And in this, again, I have mentioned the path. Okay. So path is nothing. It will take the whole path. I mean, multi manifest star, right? So star means here it will refer to order, config, product, rabbit message queue, storefront, and etc. So it will repeat for all these 5 folder. Okay. It will repeat for all the 5 folder. So it will take first multi manifest config, then it will come here, the name will take it config now. Okay. So after it will, the path it will take again multi manifest config, because we mentioned path is nothing, it will take the full path. So full path is here, either multi manifest config or multi manifest order or multi manifest product, etc. Okay. So this way it will work. So here the changes we are using the generator git. Okay. And in this git we can specify different path. Okay. And for that, from that path it will take the manifest and deploy. Okay. So if we will try to do it using the crd application, then in this case we have to write five separate argo cd application. If you see here, upset, under upset, if you come here, okay. So yeah, so this is so here, no need to create 5 app. And if you come to the apps, right, in this case we have to write 5 like this. If you make it the app of apps, then again we have to write 5 separate uh, Argo CD applications. So that we can avoid that in this case. Now let just run this again. So here I'm using kubectl apply appsets. Okay, if we see, I'm going to this appset and multi manifest appset I'm using here, and I'm trying to run this command. It got created. Okay. So application, if you go to manifest, okay, so you can see it is provisioned here, and we can see the name is config, order, product, rabbit message queue, and storefront. So that it took from this name. It took from this name. Okay, so path base name. So path base name is nothing. It will be either config, order, product, etc. So we got these names. Okay, and the project is our default. That's fine. And we have used here the multi manifest as the namespace. Okay, so we learn how we can use Argo CD um, application set CRD for creating the Argo CD application dynamically. And in that case, we will use the generator that will help us creating the Argo CD application implicitly, and deploy into multiple environments or multiple clusters. There is other um, generators are available, like matrix generator. So in matrix generator we can use 2 different other generator. So using that we can deploy the applications into multiple cluster as well as multiple environments. Okay. So for example, you want to deploy multiple applications into multiple environments. In that case we can use matrix generator. So it is nothing, it is the multiplication of both these 2 generator. Okay, so for example, here we have 5 services, and here we have 3 environments. Then 5 multiplication 3, 15. So it will create 15 Argo CD application implicitly and deploy to the different environments. Okay, yeah, that's all today. I mean, so totally we learn how we can use Argo CD by creating the Argo CD applications using the Argo CD interface. Second, we'll learn how um, we'll use CRD application to create the Argo CD application. And the next CRD application set, how we can use to create um, the Argo CD applications and deploy the manifest into Kubernetes. So this all about today, and in our future lesson, we'll learn how we can automate this, whatever we learned by using Azure Azure pipeline, and we'll use Azure Kubernetes AKS. And so if you have not gone through all these videos, just go the previous videos and try to understand uh, all the whatever the concept we have learned till date. Okay, that's all for today. Like this video, subscribe it, and wait for the next video. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.